Yay Media Group.
I flipped over my handlebars. That's probably what's wrong with me. I probably had some concussions and I never went to the doctor about it.
I've definitely had definitely a few in football.
That might
other than that,
be what's wrong with us. But on that note, hey guys, episode 72. Football is back for our kids. We just had flag football yesterday. We have to separate. Jeff had to take Lawson to his football. I took Leighton to his. It's Leighton's first season ever playing flag football. I didn't know what to expect with him, but I wanted him to get into a sport and get involved in something. And I was very impressed with him.
Good. I can't wait to go watch. I took Lawson to football. It just worked out that way. And our neighbor. And then we're going to rotate back and forth. So I could help Leighton a little bit. And I'm excited. You sent me some videos. And it's good for him to get into something. You know, he loves arts and crafts. And I respect that. And I want to drive him in that direction. But I don't care what he does or what he plays. I want to get him involved in some sort of group activity. Yeah. So this will be good for him. And
it seems like a good team. There's a lot of kids and I like that it's not like there's some kids who are very advanced and then there's kids who haven't even played that are 5 years old. So it's a good mixture of kids.
Yeah.
You know, where you don't feel like you're standing out like, oh, I'm the kid that doesn't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a good learning thing for him.
Yeah. And then our kids are off of school tomorrow. I don't know why. I feel like they're not as off like they used to be. I feel like they used to be off all the time.
Yeah, it was getting out of hand for a little bit. But I think they have some teacher day, whatever.
Yeah, so now those days I'm like, wait, what are we going to do? Where are we going to take him?
So all your boys are home tomorrow.
I know. I get rid of two and then I have one here with me at all times now. I feel like today my next door neighbors have COVID. I hope I'm not getting COVID. My stomach has been upset all day today. We're filming this in the morning, but my stomach just has not been feeling well. I was up all night. Leighton had 3 nosebleeds last night. I don't know why he's always has nosebleeds.
He takes after me because it's that season where it's starting to dry off and cool off. And I didn't put the humidifier on yesterday, like next to my bed. So Leighton takes after me with bloody noses because I get him all the time. And he takes after you with the toilet.
I know, sorry, that's like TMI, but I feel like that. And then, like when you kind of start feeling like you're getting chills, but then I also feel like it's allergies. Like my eyes are itching, my eyes are watery.
I think listen, this is throwing stones in a glass house, but you're a bit of a hypochondriac.
No, I don't think so.
Our neighbors have COVID. So then it's in your head that you think they have COVID. So they're next door. So you could get COVID. And whenever
you're basically describing yourself,
yeah,
like anytime I'm sick, you think the same thing. My stomach though I did eat. I made cabbage and cabbage is supposed to clean you out because I've been trying to work on my gut health. I don't even know if that's good for your gut health or not. And, I got cabbage and I've been eating vegetables and eating things like that. And it could be maybe that.
Maybe.
Fruit makes you bloated. I got watermelon. I've been trying to eat better, with not processed stuff. Like if I go to Chick-fil-A, I always get a grilled chicken sandwich and I'll take the bun off and make it a little wrap because they say that's good.
Less bread.
Yeah. But I mean, who knows? And then I have this thing going on right now. And I was supposed to I was supposed to go to an appointment today and they called me and had to cancel my appointment because the whole office has COVID. So I had to cancel the appointment. But I'm wondering if this thing I got going on is a diet thing.
Yeah, I don't know. You said you want to get away from processed foods. I heard you could leave a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Yes, I've seen that on Instagram.
Yeah, social media. I don't know the facts, but you could leave. There's so much sodium. Yeah, Jordan just spilled everywhere.
It's okay. It's water.
Well, that's good.
At least it's water. Sorry. Okay.
You're at Jeff and Jordan's. Just leave it.
It's water.
But anyways, yeah, you could leave that sandwich out because there's so much preservatives in there, which is probably why it tastes so good, whatever they put in there. you could just leave that sandwich out and it'd still be good after like a week? Or I don't know what the timing is.
That. I have a hard time eating meat reheated. Like I'll make ground beef, and sometimes if like today I reheated it and it smells to me. Turkey smells to me. Chicken, it reheated smells to me. I have a hard time. Thanksgiving, I won't eat leftover turkey because it stinks. It just has this smell to it. I've always been that way. It's not something new.
No, I know. We've talked about it.
Yeah, I've always been that way. And so that's why I always go towards ham, because ham doesn't stink when I reheat it and it doesn't bother me. And I'll just like put mustard on it and make it like a sandwich.
Oh, you mean like holidays, getting one of those hams.
Yeah, that honey baked ham.
Every Thanksgiving, I like a turkey, but Jordan likes ham. And it's weird, growing up, my German side loved like the ham and stuff. Mm-hmm. And my Italian side was more like my uncle would smoke a turkey, and I always looked forward to that.
I mean, I like turkey and gravy, but I have to eat it when it's hot, like right when it's done. Because my grandma, it used to drive me nuts. She would reheat it in the kitchen and I could just smell the turkey that she reheated. And she would just be like, oh, it's so good.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't. And my mom, same way. She's like, it stinks.
Tony, well, my friend Tony, who we mention all the time on here, he makes fun of me because I always like, if someone's over, like if we have people in town, I'll cook so much food and we'll have so much leftovers. And then Jordan won't eat the leftovers. So I just take all the meat off if I'm cooking ribs. I throw it all into a chili.
In a crock pot.
And I just make it chili.
And it's good.
Yeah.
No, that's a good way to do it. But it's like soaked. And it doesn't have a taste to it. And you add spices and seasoning that it doesn't affect.
But I think that's what they do at the grocery store too. So you ever see like salmon or tuna that's like seasoned and they're like, oh, we seasoned it for you. I think that's just because it's a couple days old and they're trying to mask it. And then so I always, when I go to the grocery store, I always get fresh. Like I like to season my own stuff. I don't buy it pre-seasoned because I'm like, I know what they're doing here. Yeah. They're doing what I do to Jordan with the chili.
I've said this before, but you like is it smoked salmon that you dip your crackers in?
Oh, I love it.
And it's
smoked salmon dip. Smoked salmon everything.
It's not dip. It's like comes in a package, like a flat package.
Oh, yeah. Like you get at Costco or something. It's got the yellow on it.
And it's got juice, like salmon juice. Oh, and it melts out of your packaging and it gets out. And like if my hands touch that, it stinks so bad. I can't. Your parents over the holidays, they would have that set out. They like smoked salmon.
Tradition, yeah. Like Christmas morning, they always get smoked salmon because they used to get it from down the street where my grandmother lived, from this place. I forgot the name of it in Chicago. I think they'd get it there. They'd get all the meat smoked there. But now when I was growing up, we'd open Christmas presents with a little champagne and some smoked fish, Oh, I love it.
And your mom stresses about the fruit. You got to have a fruit variety. And then Jeff's dad doesn't say anything. He doesn't say two words. And he just like gets his coat on and like will leave because your mom's like, we got to have fruit.
Because it's so weird. It's like a television show. I'm becoming my dad. We talk about this all the time, but I'm like, I got to just go my dad's route. There's like situations that pop up with you that I want to
strangle me.
Well, yeah, in my head. And I'm like, go my dad's route. Just ignore it, push it way down there and just let it go I have trouble with that.
Maybe I'm becoming your mom. Your mom doesn't yell. Your mom's very calm, but she always said when you guys were younger, she'd be like, oh, why are you doing this? And I'm like, that's me. That is me.
It's fun.
And my parents growing up just never yelled. Nothing. Our house was the calmest, most chill house. If something bad happened, my dad would just be like, yeah, it's we'll work it out. It's cool. And just like everything was always so calm.
I think it's a different day though today. You know what I mean? Because if the kids there's so many variables. I'm sure there was in the past too, but now with social media, you think of everything. like your kids are outside, there could be a tornado, a terrorist attack. Like you think of the most outrageous things that probably didn't even enter our parents' brain because they're fine out there, because everyone did that.
My mom, there were no cell phones. My mom would just be like, all right, come in when dinner's ready. And we all knew when dinner was ready. And I mean, the lights were on in the neighborhood, and it's just a different time. And there was no way of her contacting. She just had to call the neighbors and be like, hey, is Jordan over there?
Everybody. I mean, that's how we grew up.
Yeah.
We've taught everybody, I think, who kind of listens to this podcast is probably a little bit older, but they get that. Like after school, you gone.
You put your book bag down and you go play.
I mean, sometimes you get far too, like on your bike, like when you're a little bit older, like 8th grade, you're like, whoa, man, I better get home. I'm pretty far away. And then the lights are going, the sun's going down, you're speeding home.
A friend of mine, we used to come up with an invention. That's what we called it. And we'd always come up with something. And we took, I was always the fatter one and she was super skinny. So I would do the hard stuff like pedaling her because she was so little.
Did she stay on the nuts or did you have pegs?
No, we took a bike seat off, and then duct taped it around. And so I would sit on the seat and handlebars and she would sit on this little seat that we duct taped and I would pedal us. And she was, like I said, she was always the string bean and I was always the chunkier one. And so we would do that and go up to Taco Bell and we would take all of our change. I can't believe my mom let me take our bike all the way up there because anything could happen then. And we would take change. Yeah. I would take like $3 in quarters and I would pay that way. And because we didn't have money. But I mean, it's just like things like that. And that's why I love our neighborhood and our street because I feel like our neighbors are that way. Our kids are they do have iPads, but they're hardly ever on their iPads. Yeah. And they're same thing. Drop the book bags. They wait a couple minutes until everybody can play and then they're outside.
Yeah. I mean, I remember now that you said that about like, we're trying, we're on the kids, put on your helmet, put on your shoes when they're outside running around. We would have a bike with no pegs. Remember pegs? Like
that you stood on in the back of the bike. Yeah, we had those.
If you didn't have pegs, you just had to put your feet on those little nuts and bolts.
Oh, I had never even tried that.
So we'd have someone on nuts and bolts in the back, like me driving, and then someone on the front handlebars. And we're just driving around town, 3 people on one bike, no helmet, No. Yeah, just like.
Or we would take. Oh my gosh, one of the boys, well, it was these brothers we used to hang out with and we would wrestle each other. And one of them, we put a string to a bike and then attached it to a skateboard and would pick the biggest hill. And then one of us pedal as fast as we could in there and somebody's on the skateboard. And most likely, like, you just wiped out.
Yeah, that's raspberry city.
I flipped over my handlebars. That's probably what's wrong with me. I probably had some concussions, and I never went to the doctor about it.
I've definitely had definitely a few in football.
That
but
might
other than that,
be what's wrong with us. But on that note, we'll take a break.
All right, let me get a towel to wipe that.
I feel like we should stitch Jeff's first spill with your spill. Remember when Jeff spilled like the first episode?
Yes. In California. I mean, not even just in California.
There it is. It spilled. That's okay.
Oh.
Leave it.
I was wondering what you were doing.
It's seltzer water.
Oh, it's seltzer water. You're fine.
Just leave it.
Don't even worry about it.
Yeah. Let it go. It's good
just
for
seltzer
the carpet.
Water. Welcome back. A lot of you
just cleaned up Jordan's spill.
Yeah. Well, you had a spill before too. At least it was water and not a Coke. I remember my dad came here to visit us one time. He had a big Jeff type drink.
Big sexy.
Well, I'm meaning like a big gulp.
But Big Jeff, you're talking about your dad.
Yeah, not Jeff. Yeah. My dad's name is Jeff. And spilled his Diet Coke all down here. I was like, dude, really? He goes, oh, I'm so sorry, man. I'll clean it up. And anyways, I got it up. You were out of town. But he's like, dude, man. Anyways.
Oh, he's going to listen to this and be like, man, you blew up my spot.
I know. He's actually in Myrtle Beach right now. He's sending me pictures of the beach. He's like, I'm looking at a place down here. I'm like, why did you even buy your house? You didn't even like your house. And now you're in Myrtle Beach. Every time. I'm like, you're such a beach guy. Like you are a typical beach guy. It's like go live the rest of your life at the beach, on the beach. And I think secretly he knows. I haven't been back home in 4 or 5 years, maybe longer, back in North Carolina. And he knows that's how to get me back home, is to, if he's at the beach, because I am such a beach person that he knows, like, I will like invite myself and spend the summers with him.
Especially East Coast beaches.
I'm such an East Coast person. But a lot of you in the past have wrote, you would like to hear Big Brother talk, which we don't really talk about Big Brother on here. So I figured we would do that today.
Your wish is our command. Yeah. You know why? It's, well, not any reason in particular, but there's been a lot of anniversaries this year of landmarks that we've made. Or that's not the right word.
September 5th, we got engaged on Big Brother.
Right.
And
so I put it in my phone. This is, you think I'm not romantic, and I don't know if this is romantic either, but I put it in my phone to remind me. I looked it up on the internet. I thought it was September 7th would have been 10 years, right? To when we got engaged on Big Brother. Uh-huh. Is that right?
2014, yeah.
Yeah, so that's right. I'm thinking season 16. I'm doing the numbers wrong. Wait, is that right?
Yeah, season 16, 2014.
Right, so it would have been 10 years. And I was going to post that whole thing of our engagement on Big Brother. And then when I was going to do it on Saturday, you told me on Saturday when I was going to post it that it was 2 days ago.
Yeah, so I always remember because it's my best friend's birthday is when you proposed. And then y'all reminded me, I completely forgot. It was September 15th. Y'all were posting your Facebook memories of me doing winning Big Brother.
Which was 15 years ago.
It's so wild.
Yeah.
Thinking about that. So thank you. If you did send me a screen grab of your Facebook memories, that like made me happy. I love that. I love seeing it. And then
I can't believe it's that long ago.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when I was on Big Brother 11, and then, you know, after you get out of the house, it's such a whirlwind because, you know, you haven't seen anybody. It really is. I talk about it all the time, but psychologically being in there for like 3 months and not seeing anybody, and then you get out and people know who you are and know your name and you get your 15 minutes of fame or whatever. It's a whirlwind, right? It's hard to process unless it happens to you, you know? But now looking back, I could help other house guests when I was doing the interviews, like, hey, listen, this is what's going to happen, or I'm going to help you. Or if they wanted my help, you know, if they wanted my 2 cents, I would help them out because I know what they go through mentally. But what I was going to say was, I remember being on, and people were on from like season 5 or whatever, and they're at the pool parties. I'm like, dude, what is this guy doing? Like, he was on like 5, 6, 7 years ago, you know, like, what are you still involved in here? But it does become like a little community. And now it's like 15 years later. And that's kind of why we don't really talk about it. We don't want to be hangers on, you know, at all, but it was such a big part of our life, and these milestones and memories other people might forget, even though they do write us. So I do appreciate the love in that. But like 15 years ago, we did that. And then 10 years ago, we had that awesome engagement on Big Brother, you know? So that's kind of cool to look back at like those memories, even though we don't like to jam it down people's throats and post it on our social media, even though I tried to. I just forgot the day.
I did. I tried to post as many. There were so many that I couldn't fit everybody. So I just picked a couple. And then you hosted the round table that one time, didn't you?
Not round table.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I always did the, you know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know why I
No,
said
they
that.
asked me to host it. Dr. Will, someone you showed me, or someone on the internet showed me that he's not doing it this year. They asked me to do it. I don't know what Dr. Will, he's got his own business and he's got a lot of things going on. So I understand his reasoning. But one year they asked me to host that round table, and then I said yes because I was doing the interviews anyway. And then he changed his mind, and he came back and did it that year too. But I swear
I thought you did it one year. Why did I think you did that? Maybe
I did the Survivor round table.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hosted Survivor Live, so I did the Survivor.
That was when you worked for CBS.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to hear a funny story from that, actually, that I always think of when someone's miking up? It's a funny story. So remember John Rocker?
Who's that?
That controversial pitcher. He says a lot of controversial things. He's a pitcher for the Atlanta Braves. Really good, but has a lot of baggage. Like at the time when he was playing, it was even like, whoa, dude, I can't believe you said that. Like now, like he'd be assassinated for like the things bad stuff. But anyways, his girlfriend was on Survivor. Like this, I forgot her name. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Oh my gosh, I know what you're going to
like
say.
Like real cute, petite
Very
girl.
cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was doing interviews for Survivor that one year, and he got eliminated. And I think I was in Canada fishing with my dad.
Okay.
Whatever. I don't know what it was. I couldn't be there for 1 week. And it was the week John Rocker got eliminated. So I missed interviewing him because I was gone. So his girlfriend was there, on Survivor with him, and she got knocked out. So I interviewed her, and she comes in, like I said, real cute, really petite girl. And my good buddy who worked at CBS at the time, Bayard, he had to mic people up, and she goes, do you mind if I go change? And we're like, oh yeah, you're going to change? Okay. You look fine. She comes out and she has this mini dress. Like, I mean, up there. If you would have looked at her dress before she put it on, it looked like a handkerchief and somehow, or a buff from Survivor. That's what we say. It looked like a buff from Survivor. And she put it on and it like covered her boobs and barely covered. She
was cute. I remember her.
So Bayard anyways had to wire her, and the dress was so tight that you could see the wire. So he's trying to find a way.
So he had to probably go the back.
And he's like he's a shy guy.
He's the shyest.
I mean, if you know him, he's not. He's the best. But he was like, like he didn't know the right words to say. And he's like, could you pull this? Like, and she was like, free. She's like, no, go ahead, do whatever. And he was still uncomfortable because we were on set. And I was like laughing so hard. So whenever like we mic someone, like when I used to work at wherever it is, and they're like uncomfortable because someone's dressed a certain way, I think of Bayard and that girl from Survivor. So it was just funny. So eventually he's like, I'm going to have to touch over here and you're going to have to put it around so you don't see the wire. But it was just I guess you had to be there or know the business. But it was just funny. And I always remember that story of him micing that girl from Survivor.
Yeah, I do remember that. That was a good group of people over at CBS.
Yeah.
And then going back to Big Brother. Because people want to hear stories.
What of us?
Well, just anything. Big Brother. People like want to hear all like the old stories.
Well, here's an old story, and you're kind of pawning me off on the stories today because you don't feel good.
A little bit. My stomach right now is just like rumbling. It's like on fire right now.
Oh boy.
I know. Keep going.
You know what I used to love? The backyard interviews. And looking back, it was a pain in the ass, but I really got into it, is those dollar store gifts. And people liked them and they didn't like them, but I would get something that captured each person because I didn't have any money and I did it on my own. So I'd go to the dollar store and get one gift that kind of represented whatever that person's personality was, or if they had a special moment in the season. And I'd get those and like tape.
And I would spend hours with Jeff at that it's a $1.99 store.
Yeah.
And I would spend hours with you trying to help you. And then you would spend hours cutting it. And you actually like made time.
Oh yeah. A lot of time.
To do that.
And I'd cut out like their pictures and put little funny things on there. So some people kept them, like the house guests, and they were like, oh my God, this is so funny. And other people like got mad at
nothing was ever, nothing was ever rude. Nothing was ever to be mean. It was all nice. You never made fun of anybody. It was always to symbolize them, what they were, what people thought of them on the show. Nothing was ever mean.
Yeah, and some of them were dumb because I couldn't think of anything, but some of them were, I thought, pretty funny. But then after, I got wrapped doing all the interviews, they were like left all around the yard and stuff. And I don't know. Again, Bayard would hang out and like laugh about it.
Well, what about this season? What do you think about this season of Big Brother? I'm not watching. I don't watch Big Brother, but Jeff does.
I
watch it when you work out.
Yeah. I wait till like the next day when it's over and I watch it on Paramount Plus. And it's a pretty good season. They knocked out all like the players like me that, when I say that, everyone knows they kind of cast people
the physical
same.
players.
Right. They all got my type got knocked out, long ago. So it's not so much
so the people left over are people like me who were like floaters, I guess you could, I guess you could call it a floater.
How about this? In a nice way, the social players are left.
But that's how it is every year, I feel like.
Yeah. And and again, I just worked out this morning and watched yesterday's episode. And it just, some of these competitions are so silly that anybody could win at any moment. And it's so weird that even when we played, when you're on top, watch out because you're going to be on the bottom. And when you think you're on the bottom and you're out, that's when you win like an HOH or a veto.
It's true. People think it's rigged or producers are in there telling you what to say. And it's not. It's not like that at all.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's just people think like they write the script like that. And it's just the silliest game that the person on the bottom, I don't know, maybe feels the need they have to really win. And maybe the people on top who are comfortable are like, I don't really need to win this, but they're getting to the point where they really need to win everything. You can't really throw competitions. Not like anymore. It used
to be. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, but I think in the beginning, or unless there's a power floating around, you could kind of throw competitions and say, there's other people that are going up. I'm not going up. But when you get towards the end and the paranoia sets in and you don't know who to trust and you're flip-flopping on all your decisions, that's when it's like, I gotta win to save myself. And you see that every season too, Oh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, ours... Oh my gosh, I was the worst at competitions. You were really good at it. Like I always go back to, I haven't watched Big Brother in a couple of years, but how it used to be like in the summer, I loved it because I loved the fights and how because you lose your cool after like 40 days with somebody in the house, not being able to get away. Yeah. You lose your cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take a quick break and then I'll finish up on that same subject when we come back.
Okay. Welcome back.
Cotter. We've done this a million times. But yeah, so just going off what we were talking about, that's another thing. I don't know why my mind's like going back into Big Brother mode, but just because we're talking about it. So it's nice to go down that memory lane again. But again, when I was hosting the after show and doing it for years and it being on 2 times, like my philosophy is pretty right about it might be a general philosophy too, but like after 40 days, the emotional paranoia and everything sets in and that your reality inside the house starts becoming real. Because they say you could change any habit that you have after 40 days, whether it's smoking or drinking. After 40 days, your body starts to acknowledge the new life you want to live, so to speak.
No drinking?
Yeah.
When I think about drinking, I'm like, I don't even care about it. Like if people are like, do you miss it? I'm like, not really.
Well, you're 10 months in, so it's a little different scenario.
Yeah, but still.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could kick a habit in 40 days, whatever it is. That's quote unquote what they say. But it's also the same for the Big Brother house because that starts becoming your reality. And I'd say the same thing all the time. It's not like it's jail, but just think about psychologically, if you went to jail where your mind has to go, you have to somehow, in some point, accept this is my reality. And I think it might be the same for jail. I have no idea. But after maybe 40 days, you might start accepting that's your reality. That's what I feel like in the Big Brother house. Like after 40 days, whether you are trying to or not, that becomes your reality. And then the emotions come out. You start seeing people on day 40, right around there, start getting really emotional, really paranoid. Those different triggers set in your mind. And I don't know what nature sets in and that's who you become. And then, it's just kind of the same
pattern. Even when
you
get off Big Brother, after constantly putting on your mic pack, and then when you're with like your family and friends outside of the Big Brother house, you feel, a couple times for like 3 weeks, I'm like, my mic pack. It was just habit. Or like my mom and brother would be talking. And I'm like, are they talking about me? And that's like where I would think. Yeah. And I'm like, well, oh my God, what are you thinking? That's your mom and your brother. And, my mind would just go off in it's so weird. I can't even imagine going in that house now. I know people love it. I'm talking about people like returning in that are older, or people who have played it 3, 4, or 5, however many times they've gone back. I'm like, how do you do that? Like, I don't know. I couldn't do it. I think mentally I would just break down so easy. And then before, I was so young and so excited, and it was fun and it was new, and you can handle those things. I do remember though, towards like the in 60 something.
Yeah.
I remember being like, gosh, I just want to get out of here. Like, I'm kind of over this. I remember thinking that, like, I just want to go home. Like, I'm ready to like see people.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, even on those like survival shows, like Alone that I watch, loneliness breaks you down. So think about like all the people that are lonely in their general lives. I think that's where you get a lot of backlash on social media, because we're blessed and don't even think about it. Like, we have our great family and our great friends, and you know, sometimes you need to hear this. Just the other day we were fighting about something like that. But it's like, we're so blessed that we don't even know how lucky we are just because things are around us and we might not think about it every day. Think about people that are lonely, that don't have family, that don't have friends. And then they find who they think are friends on the internet, but really they're robots. And that's who they become. They don't have anyone else. So I understand some of the backlash and people being mad about certain issues that we don't even think are a big deal. But to them, it's like their whole world, because they're so isolated in their own bubble. They have no sense of communication or love or family or community with anyone else.
Right.
You know? Mm-hmm. So it helps you kind of understand the world a little bit. Or maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know.
I think we're all crazy. But okay, on that note, I hope y'all love this episode. Thank you for listening, downloading, subscribing, tagging your friends, and we will see you next week.
Jordan's going to the bathroom.
Bye.